a race realist. It implies that alternative is race unrealist, when in reality, they are just anti-white. Precisely. You have to use, ladies and gentlemen, very well stated, Edgar Allan Poe. Not only has Edgar come from where he was to where he is, but he's obviously a very bright person, because this has been a transformation that can take people years. He's done in 6 months. How long has it been, Edgar? You're doing a magnificent job. You want to say, folks, anti-white. And there are many reasons for this. Drop all this other garbage. Just drop it. You don't sound smart. You're not impressing anybody. The people victimizing us need to be anti-white so that we are seen as a people, so that we identify our personal well-being by way of our group's well-being, so that we do not complicate the spectrum of our enemies with all of this different verbiage, so that we are not still in their story. That's the worst part of this. And finally, so that the opposition has one name, and it's the name that we give them when we acknowledge their deeds and their thoughts. So we are not identifying them as bad guys with them having done nothing. We allow them to act, and then we acknowledge what it is. Call them anti-white. This is too easy to screw up. It needs to happen. And even when you feel, especially when you feel, I've had, it's been thousands of times now, I've had people say over all of these years, the person's not going to really know what it means. Yes, they will. Yes, they absolutely will. They don't have to have heard it before. They don't have to hear Tucker Carlson say it. They don't have to hear a professor say it. They will know. As soon as you say anti-white, they know. When I started using anti-white in 94, because I thought, I'm using Marxist, I'm using communist, I'm using feminist, I'm using all these things. And another thing is, when you use all that, you multiply the opposition. So you intimidate people. You frighten them out of standing up for ourselves. There's so many out there, we can't win. There's so many out there. How could we possibly be right? They all think we're wrong. That's what you do. So I said, no, it's just got to be one thing. And now I know, I didn't know then, that that the phrase anti-white existed. I think the great Tim over there at the White Rabbit said that somebody who gave him the information said that it was in a dictionary back in like 1900. I still have my dictionary from when I was in high school. And I broke that out and I looked for, does this word exist? I just figured anti is against and white is what we are. So it's not something that, it's something that a lot of people could come up with on their own and then implement. And that's what happened with me. I figured we're white. They are anti-white. That's what I'll say. I went out into the world of nobody having heard in my world, the workers, the laborers, blue collar. And then when I went on to white collar and I was used anti-white, and every time I said anti-white, their eyes were just like, there's a name for it. There's a concept for what they are. And then just by extrapolation, ism is the concept. So I just added anti-whiteism. Yes, they're anti-whites. Don't you know they're practicing anti-whiteism? And the world opened to me. It was like the key to the city, just opened their hearts and minds by speaking this way. Do not wait for them to learn from somebody else, anti-white or anti-whiteism. Don't be afraid to use these words. In fact, you better use them for the good of our people and the good of yourself, because you want to talk about these things in your mind this way. We're going to be talking about the subconscious mind and how it functions in just a little bit. So please, yes, use anti-white.